Have you ever found yourself entangled in a web of emotional confusion, wondering what went wrong with someone who seemed so promising? One day he's flooding your phone with sweet texts, making you feel like the only woman in the world. The next day, silence. You question yourself, doubting if you said the wrong thing, if you cared too much, or if you cared too little. Sound familiar? Let's be honest, some men play games. Whether it's hot and cold behavior, breadcrumbing, or keeping you guessing, their actions often leave you frustrated and drained. Here's the kicker. It's not about you. These games are rooted in their insecurities, control issues, or lack of emotional maturity. But that doesn't mean you're powerless. What if I told you there's a way to flip the script? A way to regain your peace, protect your heart, and navigate these games with elegance and ease? This isn't about manipulation or stooping to their level. It's about reclaiming your power through stoicism, confidence, and self-awareness. In today's video, I'm going to share 10 transformative ways to outsmart any man who's playing games with your heart. These aren't just strategies, they're life-changing principles that will empower you to approach relationships with clarity and strength. Ready to discover the secrets to stoic love? Let's dive in. 1. Start with self-awareness. The first and most essential step is cultivating self-awareness. Without it, you're like a leaf in the wind, blown around by the whims of someone else's behavior. Self-awareness is your anchor, the foundation of everything we're about to explore. Here's the truth. When a man plays games, it's not a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of his insecurities, his fear of commitment, or his need for control. But here's where many women stumble. They internalize his behavior. They ask, "What did I do wrong?" Pause for a moment. Ask yourself, am I placing my worth in the hands of someone who can't even be honest about their intentions? Becoming self-aware means recognizing these patterns and understanding your triggers. Why does his silence make you anxious? Why does his inconsistency make you question yourself? Awareness helps you see the situation for what it truly is, a reflection of him, not a verdict on you. Let me share a powerful mindset shift. His games only have power if you give it to them. Think of self-awareness as stepping off the chessboard. While he's trying to predict your next move, you're observing the entire game from above. You're no longer a pawn. You're the queen, the one who sees everything and moves with intention. But how do you practice self-awareness in real time? Start by pausing before you react. When he sends a confusing text, pulls away, or suddenly showers you with attention, take a moment. Instead of reacting impulsively, reflect. Ask yourself, what does this behavior tell me about him? How does it align with what I want and deserve? Self-awareness also means knowing your patterns. Do you tend to chase when someone pulls away? Do you overanalyze every little detail? Identifying these tendencies allows you to break free from them. You're no longer operating on autopilot, you're in control. And here's the best part. Self-awareness isn't just about outsmarting his games. It's about mastering yourself. When you know who you are, what you want, and what you won't tolerate, you become magnetic. You exude confidence and clarity, the essence of stoic love. Let me ask you, how would it feel to stop second-guessing yourself? To wake up each day knowing you're in control of your emotions and your life? That's the power of self-awareness. It's not just a strategy, it's a transformation. Now that you've grounded yourself in self-awareness, you're ready to take the next step. Are you excited to dive deeper into the art of outsmarting emotional games? Let's keep going, you won't want to miss what comes next. 2. Prioritize your well-being. Let's get real. How often have you sacrificed your own happiness and peace of mind to accommodate someone else's inconsistent behavior? You bend, you adapt, you overthink, all in the hopes of making things work. But here's the hard truth. When you prioritize his needs and games over your own well-being, you lose every time. Your well-being isn't negotiable, it's your foundation. If a man's behavior leaves you feeling anxious, confused, or constantly questioning your worth, it's a sign you've given him too much power over your emotions. But here's the empowering part. You can take that power back starting now. Ask yourself, what am I allowing into my life? Is it building me up, or is it tearing me down? If it's the latter, it's time for a hard reset. Prioritizing your well-being means putting yourself first, not in a selfish way, but in a way that honors your peace, your joy, and your emotional health. Picture this. Instead of waiting for his attention, you channel that energy into something that makes your heart race, your passions, your goals, your friendships. You hit the gym, dive into a project you've been dreaming about, or spend time with people who uplift and inspire you. When you shift your focus to yourself, something magical happens. You stop chasing, and you start attracting. A man who's playing games thrives on the chase. He wants to see how far you'll go to win his attention. But when you remove yourself from the game entirely, he's left with nothing to play. That's when the dynamic shifts and you regain the upper hand. Here's a mindset hack. Imagine your well-being as a glowing force field around you. When you prioritize your mental and emotional health, you make it impossible for someone else to destabilize you. He can pull back, ghost, or play hot and cold, and you'll still be standing tall, unshaken. That's Stoic love in action. Let me give you a scenario. Suppose you're seeing someone who constantly sends mixed signals. 1 minute, he's planning your future together, and the next, he's distant and unavailable. Instead of diving into the chaos, take a step back and ask, how does this behavior affect me? Is this the kind of relationship I want? If the answer is no, it's time to reframe your focus. Instead of pouring energy into figuring him out, pour that energy into building the life you deserve. Go for a run, spend time with your best friends, or tackle that goal you've been procrastinating on. Every step you take toward prioritizing yourself makes you stronger, more radiant, and undeniably magnetic. And here's the kicker. When he sees that you're no longer waiting on him, he'll notice. He'll wonder why his games no longer have an impact. That's when the power shifts in your favor, not because you're playing games, but because you've mastered the art of self-prioritization. So, let me ask you, are you ready to stop settling for half-hearted attention and start demanding the love and respect you deserve? If the answer is yes, take the first step today. Choose you. If you're enjoying these insights so far, take a moment to like this video and comment number 1 below to let me know this message resonates with you. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video that empowers you to own your worth and build Stoic love into your life. Let's keep going. The next step will completely change the way you see his games. Stay with me. 3. Recognize patterns in his behavior. One of the most powerful tools in your arsenal when navigating a man's emotional games is the ability to recognize patterns. Human behavior, no matter how unpredictable it may seem, often follows distinct, repetitive cycles. Once you can identify these patterns, you unlock the ability to anticipate his moves and protect your heart from unnecessary pain. It's like seeing the moves on a chessboard before they happen. And trust me, this will set you apart. Let's break it down. Have you noticed how some men thrive on creating confusion? One day he's attentive, texting you good morning and making plans for the weekend. The next he's distant, suddenly too busy to even reply to your messages. This is classic hot and cold behavior, a game designed to keep you guessing and, more importantly, chasing. Why do they do it? Often it's about control. By keeping you on edge, unsure of where you stand, he ensures that you're constantly thinking about him, craving his attention, and investing more energy into the relationship than he is. It's a tactic that shifts the power dynamic in his favor. But here's the good news. Once you recognize the pattern, it loses its grip on you. Take a moment to reflect. Have I been here before? Have I ignored warning signs because I wanted to believe he'd change? Recognizing patterns isn't just about identifying his behavior, it's about seeing how you've responded in the past and making a conscious choice to respond differently now. Here's another common pattern: breadcrumbing. He gives you just enough attention to keep you hooked, but never fully commits. A flirty text here, a half-hearted promise there, but when it comes to following through, he's nowhere to be found. This is his way of keeping you in emotional limbo, ensuring that you're always waiting for the next crumb of attention. And let's be honest, those crumbs never lead to the full course you deserve. How do you handle these patterns? The first step is detachment. When you see the same behaviors repeating, remind yourself that this isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of his inability to show up as an emotionally mature partner. Instead of trying to decode his actions, take a step back and observe. Detachment allows you to respond with clarity instead of reacting out of emotion. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine he suddenly goes quiet after a week of being super attentive. Most women might panic, overthink, and start texting, "Is everything okay?" Or "Did I do something wrong?" But not you. You've recognized this as a pattern, a test to see if you'll chase. Instead of reacting, you stay calm, give him space, and redirect your energy toward yourself. Here's what happens when you stop reacting to his patterns. The game flips. He'll notice that his pullback didn't elicit the usual response. You didn't panic, you didn't chase, and you didn't crumble. This makes you stand out, and it makes him question his own tactics. Suddenly, he's the one wondering, why isn't she reacting the way I expected? Let's talk about the power of predictability. Once you identify his patterns, you can anticipate his moves with precision. You see the push-pull dynamic for what it is, a game designed to test your emotional control. And when you don't fall for it, you become the one holding the cards. But here's the key. Recognizing patterns isn't just about outsmarting him. It's about protecting your emotional energy. When you see the signs and act accordingly, you free yourself from the cycle of confusion and frustration. You're no longer investing time and energy into someone who isn't showing up fully for you. So, what should you do the next time you notice these patterns? Detach, observe, and most importantly, act in alignment with your worth. If he's breadcrumbing, call it out calmly. Say, "I'm looking for consistency, and this back and forth doesn't work for me." If he's playing hot and cold, don't feed into it. Stay steady, stay calm, and let him see that his games don't affect you. Recognizing patterns is your secret weapon. It's how you move from being reactive to proactive, from feeling powerless to owning your power. And when you approach relationships with this level of awareness, you set a new standard, not just for how others treat you, but for how you treat yourself. Remember, his games only work if you allow them to. By recognizing his patterns, you take the first step toward breaking free from the cycle and creating space for a love that's grounded in honesty, respect, and mutual effort. That's the essence of Stoic love, a love that isn't swayed by games or manipulation. You're in control now. And trust me, the next steps are only going to amplify your strength. Let's keep going. 4. Stay calm and composed. Imagine this. You're in a conversation and out of nowhere, he casually brings up his ex, saying something like, "She used to make the best pasta." Or maybe you're out with friends and he's blatantly flirting with another woman just within your line of sight. It stings, doesn't it? It's a calculated move, intentional or not, to get under your skin and provoke a reaction. But here's where you get to shine. By staying calm and composed, you turn the tables in a way that no game can break. When a man plays games, one of his primary goals is to see how you'll react. Will you get jealous? Will you argue? Will you fold under the pressure of his provocations? For most women, these emotional traps feel impossible to ignore. But the truth is, reacting emotionally only feeds the game, giving him the control he craves. Staying calm in these moments isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending nothing bothers you. It's about mastering the art of response instead of reaction. When you respond with grace and composure, you send a clear, powerful message. You don't control my emotions. I do. Let me share a scenario. Say he's flirting with someone at a party. The typical reaction might be anger, jealousy, or even trying to one-up him by flirting with someone else. But what does that achieve? It only shows that his actions got to you. Instead, imagine this. You notice his behavior, but instead of reacting, you remain calm, confident, and unbothered. Maybe you engage in an interesting conversation with someone nearby, or focus on enjoying yourself in the moment. Do you know what happens when you don't take the bait? He's left confused. His game loses its power because the reaction he was fishing for never came. And that's where the power shift happens. Your composure shows him, and everyone around you, that you're a woman who isn't easily shaken. That kind of emotional strength is captivating. But how do you stay composed when your emotions are screaming for attention? The key lies in detachment. Remind yourself that his actions don't define you. Whether he's testing your limits or acting out of insecurity, his behavior is about him, not you. When you internalize this truth, it becomes easier to respond from a place of calm. Another way to maintain your composure is by reframing the situation. Instead of seeing his actions as an attack, view them as a test of your emotional resilience. Think of it as an opportunity to showcase your strength. Every time you stay calm under pressure, you're not just passing his test, you're leveling up in your own emotional growth. Here's a practical tip. Practice the pause and breathe technique. The next time he does something to provoke you, pause before you respond. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's the most empowering way to handle this? This simple act of slowing down can prevent knee-jerk reactions and help you maintain your composure. Now, let's talk about the ripple effect of staying calm. When you don't react emotionally, you disrupt the game entirely. He begins to see you as someone who's different, someone who doesn't play by the same predictable rules. That unpredictability makes you intriguing, and it shifts the power dynamic in your favor. Suddenly, he's the one feeling uncertain, questioning his own moves, and trying to figure out what makes you so unshakable. But staying calm isn't just about outsmarting his games. It's about protecting your peace. Emotional reactions drain your energy and leave you feeling depleted. By choosing composure, you conserve your emotional resources and maintain control over your own happiness. That's what Stoic love is all about, standing firm in your emotional power, no matter the chaos around you. Let me leave you with this thought. The next time he tries to rattle you, picture yourself as the calm in the storm. While the world around you swirls with drama, you remain steady, confident, and unbothered. That level of self-mastery doesn't just outsmart his games, it elevates you to a whole new level of emotional independence. You've already shown yourself how powerful you can be, and as we move forward, the strategies we explore will only deepen your ability to navigate relationships with confidence and ease. Let's keep going. Your journey to emotional mastery is just beginning. 5. Focus on your own goals. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you poured all of your energy into your own dreams, ambitions, and passions? If you're feeling drained by a man's emotional games, chances are you've been prioritizing him over yourself, and that needs to change starting now. Here's the truth. Men who play games thrive on distraction. They want you caught up in their web of confusion, constantly analyzing their every move and putting your life on pause just to figure them out. But imagine this. What if, instead of playing along, you turned your attention inward and focused on building the life you've always wanted? Suddenly, his games would feel like nothing more than background noise. Focusing on your goals isn't just about keeping busy, it's about rediscovering your power. When you're chasing your ambitions, whether that's climbing the career ladder, pursuing a passion project, or leveling up in your personal growth, you radiate confidence and purpose. And here's the magic: nothing is more attractive than a woman who knows where she's going and refuses to let anything derail her. Picture this. You've been seeing someone who's pulling the classic hot and cold routine. Instead of obsessing over why he hasn't texted back or why he seems distant, you channel that energy into something meaningful. Maybe you dive into a fitness goal, take a step toward launching your side hustle, or invest time in learning something new. Suddenly, the power dynamic shifts. You're no longer waiting for him to make a move. You're too busy making moves of your own. When you focus on your goals, two things happen. First, you reclaim control of your emotional energy. Instead of giving him the satisfaction of knowing he's on your mind, you redirect that energy into yourself. This isn't just empowering, it's liberating. Second, you become a magnet for high-quality connections. A man who's truly worth your time will admire and respect your drive, and he'll be drawn to the independent, unstoppable woman you've become. But let's get real. This isn't always easy. The pull to seek validation from someone you care about can be strong, especially when emotions are involved. That's where Stoicism comes into play. Stoicism teaches us to detach from what we can't control, like his behavior, and focus on what we can control, like our own actions and mindset. By applying this principle, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster and anchor yourself in your own journey. Now let me ask you, what's a goal you've been putting off because you've been too distracted by someone else's games? Maybe it's a fitness milestone, a creative project, or even something as simple as planning a solo trip. Whatever it is, take this as your sign to start. Every step you take toward your goals brings you closer to the life you deserve and further from the games you don't. Here's another bonus of focusing on yourself. It naturally sets boundaries without you having to say a word. When a man sees that you're busy building your empire, he realizes he can't just show up with half-hearted effort. He'll either step up or step out, and either way you win. Think of this as your chance to rewrite the narrative. Instead of playing the role of the woman waiting for a man's attention, you're the one creating a life so full and vibrant that it attracts the right kind of partner. That's the essence of Stoic love, a love that's built on self-respect, purpose, and independence. So, what's stopping you from taking that first step? Right now, make a commitment to prioritize your goals and put yourself back in the driver's seat of your life. And if you're feeling inspired, let me know by hitting like and commenting number 1 below. Your journey to empowerment deserves to be celebrated. And don't forget, subscribe to this channel so you never miss a video that helps you grow, glow, and conquer relationships on your own terms. You've got this. And the best is yet to come. Let's keep going. The next step will only strengthen your emotional power. 6. Avoid emotional retaliation. Imagine this scenario. He's been distant, barely responding to your texts, and when he finally does, it's with a vague, dismissive message. Or maybe he's flirting with someone else, clearly testing your patience. What's your instinct? For most people, it's retaliation. Maybe you feel the urge to ignore him, flirt with someone else, or make a snarky comment to put him in his place. But here's the thing, retaliation might feel satisfying in the moment, but it ultimately backfires. Retaliating emotionally means you're still caught in his game. You're reacting to his moves, which gives him the control he's seeking. When you retaliate, whether it's through anger, passive aggression, or tit-for-tat behavior, you're letting him dictate your actions. And the moment you do that, you've lost your footing. So, how do you break free from this cycle? The answer lies in practicing emotional indifference. Indifference doesn't mean you stop caring altogether, It means you stop giving his games the power to affect your actions or mood. Instead of retaliating, you stay calm, composed, and unbothered. This approach sends a powerful message. Your games don't define me. I'm in control of my emotions. Let's break it down with an example. Suppose he ghosts you after days of constant communication, only to resurface with a casual "Hey, what's up?" Most people's first reaction might be to ignore him out of spite or respond with something like, "Oh, so you're alive now?" But both of these reactions come from a place of hurt and emotional investment. Instead, imagine responding with calm simplicity. "Hi, I'm doing well. You?" No sarcasm, no anger, just calm acknowledgement. This response shows you're unshaken by his behavior, which disrupts the power dynamic entirely. Another common situation is when he flirts with someone else in your presence, clearly trying to provoke jealousy. Reacting with anger or retaliating by flirting with someone else only feeds into the drama he's creating. Instead, try this. Stay composed, smile, and focus on enjoying your own evening. Your calmness will catch him off guard, leaving him to wonder why his tactics aren't working. This approach isn't about playing hard to get. It's about genuinely detaching from the emotional roller coaster he's trying to create. Detachment allows you to maintain your dignity and keep your energy focused on what truly matters, your peace of mind and self-respect. Here's the key to mastering this. Remind yourself that his actions reflect his own insecurities and immaturity, not your worth. By refusing to retaliate, you reclaim your power. You're no longer operating on his terms, but on your own. And this, my friend, is the ultimate game changer. But let's address the elephant in the room. Isn't it hard to stay indifferent when his actions sting? Absolutely. Emotional detachment isn't about pretending you don't feel hurt. It's about choosing not to let that hurt dictate your actions. Whenever you feel the urge to retaliate, pause and ask yourself, what would the strongest, most self-assured version of me do right now? And here's where Stoicism comes into play. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, while letting go of what we can't control, like someone else's behavior. By embracing this mindset, you create an emotional buffer that shields you from the chaos of his games. You become unshakable, and that's a power no one can take away. Let's go deeper. When you avoid retaliation, you're not just outsmarting him, you're setting a higher standard for yourself. You're showing that you won't engage in petty back and forths or let someone else's games dictate your behavior. This kind of emotional mastery is rare, and it's one of the reasons why emotionally mature people are so magnetic. Think of it this way. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you're not just winning the moment, you're winning the bigger game. You're reinforcing your boundaries, protecting your energy, and building the foundation for relationships that are rooted in respect, not manipulation. Avoiding emotional retaliation isn't about letting him off the hook. It's about refusing to lower yourself to the level of games and drama. By staying composed, you elevate yourself above the noise and position yourself as someone who is in control of their emotions and their life. This isn't just a strategy for relationships, it's a strategy for life. And as you embrace this approach, you'll find that the peace and confidence you gain are worth far more than any fleeting sense of satisfaction retaliation might bring. You're playing the long game now, and trust me, it's a game worth winning. 7. Communicate directly. When a man plays games, the last thing he expects is for you to address his behavior head-on. Games thrive in ambiguity, in the unanswered questions, the unspoken thoughts, and the emotional push and pull. But when you choose to communicate directly, you dismantle the very foundation of those games, replacing confusion with clarity and self-respect. Direct communication doesn't mean confronting him with anger or frustration. It means expressing your observations and feelings calmly, confidently, and without drama. Think of it as flipping the light switch in a dim room. Suddenly, everything becomes clear, and there's no room for shadows to hide. Here's why this works. Most men who play games are banking on the fact that you'll avoid difficult conversations, overthink instead of speaking up, or try to decode their actions rather than calling them out. When you communicate directly, you disrupt this cycle. You show that you value honesty and are unafraid to address uncomfortable truths. Let me give you a scenario. Say he's been distant, his texts are sporadic, and his energy feels off. Instead of internalizing his behavior or assuming the worst, you could say, "I've noticed you've been less present lately. Is something going on that we should talk about?" Notice how this statement is calm, clear, and non-confrontational. You're not accusing him, but you're also not ignoring the shift in his behavior. The beauty of direct communication is that it puts the ball in his court. It forces him to either step up and address the issue or reveal his true intentions. And here's the secret. Regardless of his response, you win. If he's genuine, he'll appreciate your honesty and work to resolve the situation. If he's not, his reaction will speak volumes, giving you the clarity you need to move forward. But what if he deflects, gets defensive, or tries to turn the conversation around on you? Stay calm. Men who play games often use defensiveness or blame shifting to avoid accountability. Instead of getting drawn into the drama, stick to your message. For example, if he says, "You're overthinking," you can respond with, "I'm just sharing how I feel. I think open communication is important." Direct communication isn't about winning an argument or getting him to admit he's playing games. It's about setting a tone for the relationship, one that values honesty, mutual respect, and emotional transparency. When you communicate this way, you raise the standard not just for him, but for yourself. You show that you're someone who isn't afraid to advocate for their needs and boundaries. Let's talk about why this approach is so powerful. When you speak directly and confidently, you're not just addressing his behavior, you're reinforcing your own self-worth. You're saying, without words, "I value myself too much to tolerate ambiguity or disrespect." And that's magnetic. People are drawn to those who are clear about what they want and willing to ask for it. But what if you're scared of how he might react? That fear is natural, especially if you've been conditioned to avoid confrontation. The key is to remind yourself that communication isn't about controlling the outcome, it's about expressing your truth. His response is his responsibility, not yours. Your only job is to show up authentically and with integrity. Here's a tip to make direct communication feel more natural. Focus on using I statements rather than you statements. For example, instead of saying, "You're so inconsistent," you could say, "I feel confused when our plans don't happen as we discussed." This shifts the conversation from blame to understanding, making it easier for both of you to engage constructively. Another example, if he's breadcrumbing, sending flirty texts, but never following through on plans, you could say, "I enjoy talking to you, but I value consistency in my relationships." If you're not interested in something more substantial, that's okay, but I need to know where we stand. This statement is firm yet respectful, and it makes your expectations clear. Direct communication also protects your emotional energy. Instead of spending hours overanalyzing his texts, you get to the heart of the matter and free yourself from unnecessary mental gymnastics. It's a practice rooted in Stoicism, focusing on what you can control, your words and actions, while letting go of what you can't, his response. When you make direct communication a habit, you'll notice a shift not just in your relationships, but in yourself. You'll feel more empowered, more grounded, and more in tune with your own needs and values. And the best part, you'll attract people who respect and appreciate this clarity, creating space for connections that are honest, healthy, and fulfilling. Remember, games can only survive in the absence of clarity. By communicating directly, you eliminate confusion and take back your power. You're setting the tone for the kind of relationships you want to cultivate, ones built on mutual respect and authenticity. This isn't just a tactic, it's a philosophy, and it's one that will serve you well, both in love and in life. 8. Set clear boundaries. Boundaries, they're not just lines drawn in the sand, they're declarations of your self-respect, your values and your worth. Yet so many of us hesitate to set them in relationships. Why? Because we fear they'll push the other person away or make us seem demanding. But here's the truth. Boundaries don't repel the right person, they attract them. And for someone playing games with your heart, boundaries are the ultimate reality check. Let's get one thing straight. Boundaries are not ultimatums. They're not about controlling someone else's behavior, they're about protecting your peace and showing others how to treat you. Think of boundaries as the guardrails that keep your emotional well-being intact. Without them, you're giving others free rein to treat you however they please. Now, let's talk about why boundaries are essential when dealing with someone who's playing games. A man who's inconsistent, manipulative, or evasive thrives on ambiguity. He wants you to bend, adapt, and accept less than you deserve because it makes things easier for him. But when you set clear boundaries, you disrupt that dynamic entirely. You send a message that says, I know my worth, and I'm not afraid to enforce it. Here's how you do it. First, get clear on what your boundaries are. What behaviors are unacceptable to you? What do you need to feel respected and valued in a relationship? For example, maybe you've noticed that he constantly cancels plans last minute or ghosts you for days before resurfacing with a casual hey. These behaviors leave you feeling disrespected and unimportant. That's where a boundary comes in. When you communicate a boundary, the key is to be calm, firm, and direct. Avoid attacking or accusing. Focus on expressing your needs. For example, you could say, I value consistency and clear communication. If that's not something you're able to offer, I completely understand, but I won't continue in a dynamic that leaves me feeling unsettled. Notice how this statement isn't emotional or confrontational. It's simply stating your boundary and leaving the ball in his court. You're not demanding that he change, you're inviting him to meet your standard, and if he can't, you're prepared to walk away. Let's talk about what happens next. When you set a boundary, you force him to make a choice. Respect your standards or step aside. Either way, you win. If he respects your boundary, it shows he values you and is willing to meet your needs. If he doesn't, it reveals that he's not capable of the level of respect and commitment you deserve. In both scenarios, you've protected your peace and avoided settling for less. But here's the tricky part. Enforcing boundaries takes consistency. It's not enough to state your boundary once. You have to follow through. If he crosses the line you've drawn and you let it slide, you're sending the message that your boundaries aren't real. For example, if you've told him you won't tolerate last-minute cancellations, but you continue to accept them without addressing it, you're undermining your own words. Enforcing boundaries might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're not used to advocating for yourself. But over time, it becomes second nature, and the confidence you gain from standing firm is transformative. Every time you enforce a boundary, you reinforce your self-worth and show yourself that you deserve respect. Here's something powerful to remember. Boundaries don't scare away the right person. In fact, they're a filter that helps you attract people who align with your values. A man who's worth your time will respect your boundaries because he respects you, and the ones who don't, they were never truly invested in your well-being to begin with. Let's bring this home with a real-life example. Imagine you're dating someone who likes to flirt with others in front of you. It makes you feel uncomfortable and disrespected, but instead of stewing in silence or reacting emotionally, you calmly address it. Later, in private, you say, I'm not comfortable with flirtatious behavior when we're together. If that's part of who you are, I respect it, but it's not something I'm willing to tolerate in a relationship. By setting this boundary, you're not accusing or attacking, you're simply communicating your standard. If he continues the behavior, you enforce your boundary by stepping away. If he respects it, you've established a healthier dynamic based on mutual respect. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away, they're about creating space for love and respect to thrive. When you set and enforce clear boundaries, you reclaim your power and show the world that you're a woman who knows her worth. That's the essence of Stoic love, standing firm in your values and refusing to compromise your peace for anyone. If you're ready to embrace boundaries as your new superpower, take a moment to reflect on the standards you want to set in your relationships. The right people will rise to meet them, and you'll find yourself surrounded by the love and respect you deserve. Let's keep going. Your journey to emotional mastery isn't over yet. 9. Practice patience. Patience. It's a word we hear often but rarely take the time to understand or embrace. Yet when it comes to navigating relationships, especially with someone who's playing games, patience is your most powerful tool. It's the secret weapon that allows you to maintain control of your emotions, shift the dynamic, and, most importantly, protects your peace. Let's face it, we live in a world of instant gratification. We expect immediate replies to texts, quick resolutions to conflicts, and clear answers about where we stand. But the reality is relationships, particularly the tricky ones, don't operate on a fast timeline. And when a man is playing games, he's testing your patience, whether intentionally or not. Imagine this: you've sent him a message, and hours have gone by without a response. The anxiety starts creeping in. You wonder if he's lost interest, if you've done something wrong, or if he's simply ignoring you. The temptation to double text or overthink can feel overwhelming. But here's where patience comes in. Instead of reacting impulsively, you wait. You let the silence exist without filling it with your own doubts or actions. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about giving yourself the time and space to observe his behavior and make decisions from a place of clarity. When you practice patience, you resist the urge to chase, fix, or overcompensate. You allow things to unfold naturally, letting his actions or lack thereof reveal his true intentions. But how do you cultivate patience when emotions are high? Start by reminding yourself of this simple truth. Urgency is often a product of insecurity. When you feel the need to act immediately, ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Most of the time, the answer will point back to a fear of loss, rejection, or uncertainty. Acknowledging this fear allows you to step back and separate your feelings from your actions. Another powerful tool is reframing. Instead of viewing his delayed responses or inconsistent behavior as something negative, see it as an opportunity to gather information. His actions, or lack of them, are telling you everything you need to know about his level of interest, effort, and emotional maturity. Patience allows you to observe without interference, making it easier to see the bigger picture. Let's talk about what happens when you practice patience. First, you take back control of the emotional narrative. A man who's playing games expects you to react impulsively. He expects you to reach out, overthink, and scramble for clarity. When you don't, it unsettles him. Suddenly, he's the one left wondering, why isn't she reacting the way I thought she would? Second, patience gives you the time and space to focus on yourself. Instead of fixating on his behavior, you redirect that energy towards something productive, your goals, your passions, or simply enjoying your own company. This shift in focus not only preserves your peace but also makes you more attractive. A woman who's too busy living her best life to chase after mixed signals is magnetic. Patience also helps you master the art of delayed gratification. In relationships, it's easy to chase quick fixes, sending a text for reassurance, demanding answers, or seeking validation. But when you delay gratification, you build emotional strength. You learn to sit with uncertainty without letting it consume you. And here's the beauty of it. The more you practice patience, the less his games will affect you. Let me share an example. Imagine he cancels plans at the last minute with a vague excuse. Instead of confronting him immediately or expressing disappointment, you take a moment to process. You calmly let him know that consistency is important to you and leave it at that. You don't push for an explanation or try to salvage the situation. You wait to see how he follows up. If he puts in effort to make it up to you, great. If he doesn't, you have your answer. Patience isn't about doing nothing. It's about knowing when to act and when to let things unfold on their own. It's about giving yourself the time to make decisions that align with your values and self-respect. And when you approach relationships with this mindset, you set a powerful precedent. You won't rush, chase, or compromise your peace for anyone. Here's the ultimate payoff of patience. It protects you from settling. When you're patient, you're not rushing to secure a connection or force clarity. You're allowing yourself the time to evaluate whether this person truly aligns with your needs, values, and vision for a relationship. And that's the essence of Stoic love, an unwavering commitment to your own emotional well-being. The next time you feel the pull to act out of impatience, take a breath. Remind yourself that time is on your side. Let things unfold and trust that the right person won't require you to compromise your peace or chase for clarity. You're playing the long game now, and it's one where patience will always be your greatest ally. 10. Choose when to walk away. Let's end with the most powerful move in your arsenal, knowing when to walk away. This isn't just about exiting a situation, it's about reclaiming your power, your peace, and your self-worth. Walking away is the ultimate act of self-respect, and it's often the move that shifts the entire dynamic. Think about it. How many times have you stayed in a situation longer than you should have? Maybe you held on to hope that he would change, or you convinced yourself that things would get better if you just gave him more time, more energy, or more chances. But the truth is, staying in a game you didn't agree to play only drains you further. Walking away doesn't mean you're giving up or that you've lost. It means you're choosing yourself over someone else's inconsistency or manipulation. It's a decision rooted in strength, not weakness. And the moment you make it, you send a powerful message. I'm worth more than this. Let's break it down. Walking away isn't about slamming doors or making dramatic exits. It's about calm, quiet confidence. When you decide to leave, you do it with grace, clarity, and zero regrets. You don't need to explain yourself or seek validation. You simply recognize that the situation no longer serves you, and you move forward. But how do you know when it's time to walk away? Here's a simple guideline. If his actions consistently leave you feeling confused, unvalued, or emotionally exhausted, it's time to reevaluate. A healthy relationship should add to your life, not drain it. If his games are creating more chaos than joy, he's showing you who he is, and it's your job to believe him. Here's an example. Suppose he's been breadcrumbing you, sending mixed signals, and making promises he never keeps. You've addressed it, set boundaries, and given him a chance to step up. But nothing changes. Instead of continuing to invest your energy, you calmly let him know, this isn't working for me. I need more consistency and respect than I'm seeing here. Then you walk away, no drama, no second guessing, just quiet self-assurance. The beauty of walking away is that it forces him to confront the reality of losing you. If he truly values you, he'll take action to earn back your trust and respect. But if he doesn't, you've saved yourself from wasting time on someone who isn't capable of giving you what you deserve. Either way, you win. Walking away is also an act of stoicism. It's about focusing on what you can control, your decisions, your boundaries, and your self-respect, while letting go of what you can't control, like his behavior or his willingness to change. By walking away, you're not just leaving the relationship behind, you're stepping into a new chapter of empowerment and growth. Let me ask you, how would it feel to free yourself from the weight of someone else's games? To wake up every morning knowing you're no longer chasing, questioning, or compromising? That freedom is priceless, and it's exactly what walking away offers you. But let's be clear, walking away isn't easy. It requires courage, clarity, and a deep belief in your own worth. There will be moments of doubt, moments when you wonder if you made the right choice. In those moments, remind yourself why you left. Remember the confusion, the frustration, and the emotional toll his games took on you. And most importantly, remember that you deserve better. Here's the truth. Walking away doesn't close doors, it opens them. It creates space for the love, respect, and partnership you truly deserve. It shows the world and yourself that you're not afraid to stand up for your own happiness. And that kind of confidence is magnetic. As we wrap up, let me leave you with this thought. The most powerful position in any relationship is being able to walk away and mean it. It's a declaration of self-respect, a refusal to settle, and a commitment to living life on your terms. You have that power within you. Don't be afraid to use it. Now, take a deep breath and reflect on everything we've covered. You're not just learning how to outsmart games. You're learning how to master your emotions, protect your peace, and create relationships rooted in respect and authenticity. That's the essence of Stoic love, and it's a journey worth embracing. The question is, are you ready to step into that power? The choice is yours, and I know you're more than capable of making it. The best is yet to come, and it starts with you. Thank you for being here and for choosing to invest in yourself. Here's to your growth, your strength, and your unwavering self-respect. Let's keep building the life and love you deserve. That concludes the 10 ways to outsmart any man playing games with your heart journey. You've now gained powerful strategies to take back control of your emotions, relationships, and ultimately your life. Let's quickly revisit what we've covered. You've learned the importance of starting with self-awareness, understanding that his games reflect his issues, not yours. You've seen the power of prioritizing your well-being, recognizing patterns in his behavior, staying calm under pressure, and avoiding emotional retaliation. You've embraced the art of direct communication, focused on your goals, and practiced patience as a tool of self-mastery. And finally, you've discovered the ultimate move, knowing when to walk away. These principles are more than just strategies. They're a mindset, a way of life that empowers you to stand firm in your self-worth and create the space for love and respect to enter your world. You're not here to be a participant in someone else's games. You're here to be the master of your own story. But here's the beautiful thing about this journey. It doesn't stop here. These lessons will continue to serve you, not just in relationships but in every area of your life. They'll help you cultivate stronger boundaries, deeper connections, and a profound sense of inner peace. That's the power of embracing stoicism and cultivating what I like to call Stoic love. So, what's next for you? How will you apply these strategies to transform your relationships and build the life you deserve? If this video resonated with you, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on what stood out the most. What is one thing you're ready to implement right now? And if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe to this channel. This is your space to grow, learn, and connect with others who are on the same journey. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And let's continue this conversation. Together, we're creating a community of strong, empowered individuals who refuse to settle for anything less than they deserve. Thank you for trusting me to guide you on this path. Remember, you are powerful, you are worthy, and you are in control. Here's to your strength, your resilience, and your unstoppable journey toward love, respect, and fulfillment. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep shining. The best is yet to come.